think it's recording now. Is it recording? Hello? Yay, okay.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. We're on?
Yay, we're
We're
on.
live. Hey, what's up? I'm Schmidt.
And I'm TJ again. So we're coming back, and we were going to record a show last Thursday. And we actually came here. We were both together, and we were both ready to record the show. And so we turned on an episode of Workaholics, and so here we are a week later recording that show. And I'm just glad to be here.
We never stopped watching Workaholics. It's what we've been doing this whole week.
You could call us workaholics. Workaholics.
Stop. Just stop. Yeah. I dig that show though. You kind of turned me on to it. It's
could have stopped it on.
What was that?
I'm sorry?
Okay. Yeah, you kind of turned me on to it and inspired me to want to live the workaholics lifestyle. In fact, no, I still want to get a house in Tempe.
Wait, so you want to live a lifestyle where you live with your friends and you go to work with your friends and you get to drink beer on the roof of your house?
With your friends. Yeah.
That sounds horrible.
In a nice house. They have a fucking nice house.
With Ben Stiller as your landlord.
With Ben Stiller as our landlord, yeah.
You saw the wrestling episode.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
He acts like the asshole landlord, and at the end, he's all chill.
What do they call in wrestling? Not the hook. There's a name for it. I don't know why I can't remember it. The guy who's supposed to play the antagonist in wrestling. He's the. I'll think of it later.
Not the villain. I don't watch wrestling.
It's a one-syllable word. I can't remember what it's called.
Like Donald Trump.
Donald Trump did that before.
Yeah, he did.
WWE.
He was a fucking WWE star, and now he's our president.
Yeah, did you see that? Like everybody and their mother is now calling for his resignation.
That's not gonna fucking happen. Two, even if people did want to impeach, and you could get the House to do it. Why the fuck would you want that? You would just get Pence.
Mike Pence?
Yeah.
Well, see, the really nice thing about Mike Pence is he's got a really nice, pretty face and voice that the Republicans can get behind. And that's what we really need here as a country is we don't need an incompetent orange orangutan idiot president.
We need an incompetent, malicious asshole.
A competent one.
Did I say incompetent?
Yes.
I meant competent.
We need a competent one, yes. Yeah. Who can really
fuck shit up.
Right.
And look at Trump. Look at what Trump has done, Forrest Gumping his way through government, you know?
You know, I was telling you this earlier today. I was trying to get health care because I work out a lot, and I was thinking, hey, there might be a chance I could, pull something or, something could, who knows? You lift heavy weights, anything bad could happen. I thought it would probably be prudent of me, even though healthcare is super expensive here. We're already paying for Medicare, which we can't get. And then on top of that, you got to pay premiums for insurance. Well, whatever. I was like, I'll pay $150 a month for minimums, ACA minimums. Sure, just to have healthcare so I could at least go see a doctor at least once or twice a year. But open enrollment's over. And I don't have any of the qualifications. Like, I didn't recently get married or divorce or get a job, lose my job. I don't have any disabilities or anything like that. So me as a mid-20s, full-time working guy, middle class, if I want health care, fuck you. Yeah. So,
you have to wait until a year later.
Yeah, it's good. But I think if we had someone like Pence, maybe we could get the enrollment period even smaller.
2 weeks.
2 weeks is really good. I think that's really the pinpoint. If we can get it down to 2 hours, I really think that's kind of what we're shooting for.
You notice that they don't really advertise it that much either.
No, it's always the question though. You always hear that in the workplace, like, "Hey, when's open enrollment? When's open enrollment?" Oh, depends. We're always changing the length.
I don't know.
We shorten it. Does anyone know? Gotta ask HR. No one fucking knows.
We were talking about this before. I don't understand the motivation behind that because
keep people in the dark.
Well, here's the thing. Like you had mentioned that Republicans, they make the argument that it increases demand if you have like a short enrollment period.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what their argument is.
Yeah. There's no studies that show that at all.
Well, there's that, but there's also obviously everything that Republicans do have an ulterior motive. That's just
You
the
don't
way
say.
just the way it works. So I can't even rationalize like what would their motive be behind that. Like, I can't even think of a reason, honestly, because it means less money for the giant corporations that control our health insurance. You know, it means.
Well, also think about all the money that insurance companies have to put out when people are actually in accidents and injured, etc. Especially poor people, right? Because poor people are the most likely to need hospitals because they generally have the worst diets. They have the least amount of time to take care of themselves. So poverty, sickness, I mean, these things kind of go together. And if you have all these really poor people, instead of them getting insurance where they're only paying, a couple $100s a month, and then they're inevitably getting sick because they're poor, and then the insurance company having to cover whatever percentage of whatever procedure they have, instead they could just, have no money whatsoever and be poor like they are, not be able to get health care. And then when they inevitably get ill or have an accident or get sick in some way and then eventually go and be hospitalized in the ER, maybe even ICU or whatever, well, they've got no insurance whatsoever. And it's horrible. They've got to just pay out the ass, I guess is the way that that's the saying?
Be
out the ass?
Be saddled with.
Is that the saying? Pay out the ass?
Out the ass,
Out
yeah.
the ass,
Out the
yeah.
wazoo.
Out the wazoo. Okay, I've heard that. Yeah, I was like, I couldn't remember
Yeah,
the
be
saying.
saddled with hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt. Yeah,
I've seen bills over $1 million before.
I have a job where that requires a security clearance, and there's one of my coworkers who works on the uncleared side of site who can never get his clearance because he has back issues. He's had several surgeries. Even with insurance, he owes hundreds of thousands of dollars. And
Fuck him. That's what he gets.
Yeah, and he's a low-wage worker. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he deserves for, I don't know, not being, like, perfect.
Healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not being genetically perfect.
Right, like, before you were born and you were deciding your genetic makeup, why didn't you pick good genes? That's what I would have done. That's what I did. My friends don't get sick. I don't get sick. I don't get it.
America's great for me, personally, and all my friends.
Everyone I know. Oh, my God. There's someone at my work who's like that. I don't want to say Kathy's name, but there's a receptionist at my work, Kathy. She's, well...
Yeah, I respect that you're protecting her identity.
Oh, yeah. Well, Kathy wouldn't want me to say her name on here, so I won't. But anyway, this unnamed male or female that I know who is almost old enough to live at the place where I work. It's a retirement home. That would have made the joke funnier if you knew that. But she was telling me, because we were having this whole conversation about politics as we usually do on almost a daily basis. And she was trying to tell me in a manner like as if I didn't know or this was going to be a shock to me. But she was saying, like the reason I say that the economy is doing so well is because it's doing well for me. It's doing well for my friends and family. Everybody I know personally is doing well. So, yeah, to me, we are living in a good economy. And I was like, not only did you not just tell me something that I did not know, but I knew this so well that I'm in groups of people. I'm in spheres, the Twitter spheres, the Facebook spheres of people who make fun of people just like you for that exact reason. This is not news to us. We know this is how you think.
Somebody I work with thinks like that too. He made this argument to me. Like I was talking about how obviously when it comes to the gap of income in America, yeah, and how the rich tend to pay less in taxes when it comes to effective tax rates.
Yeah.
He told me, well, what about me? I mean, I don't pay anything in taxes. Like ever, last 3 years, I haven't paid anything in taxes. None of my friends paid anything in taxes. What do you think about that? I'm like, anecdotal evidence doesn't mean shit in a political debate, bro. And he said, well, what, all of my friends, it's the same thing. How many anecdotes before it becomes statistical?
Usually tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands, depending on the statistic. Why do you ask?
Yeah. He's not the brightest.
When talking about the U.S., generally we're looking at hundreds of thousands, if not millions, tens of millions.
This guy also today made this argument. He said, "Oh yeah, I was talking about how Obama had his head in the trough, just like everybody else. Maybe not as much as Republicans, but he takes money just like everybody else. That's why Obamacare was passed and not Medicare for all." But he's like, and I'm like, yeah, Bernie Sanders doesn't take corporate PAC money, and he actually represents, real Americans. To which he responded, "How do you know? How do you know he doesn't take? How do you know he doesn't take corporate money? He's bought. All the politicians have bought. Until you give me evidence to prove otherwise, I'm gonna believe that he's taking money in a back room."
That's the opposite of a null hypothesis. So you're saying prove a negative. Prove he's not doing something.
Yeah.
That's not how logic works.
Yeah, that's what I told him. He's like, "Nah, man, you gotta prove that." I'm like, "What?" That I don't even really have a rebuttal for that because it's so retarded.
I would just think of a random fallacy, whatever comes to your mind. Argument from incredulity. There's a good example, right? And I would just say, "Hey, are you familiar with the argument from incredulity?" And when he inevitably says no, I would say, "Oh, okay." I only ask because that's a really basic principle and basic fundamental thing anybody who understands logic would understand. But since you're unfamiliar with it, it's safe for me to assume that you're not a logical individual because you just demonstrated that to me. But now you can say it out loud, and so he can say, oh, it's not him just saying it's logical because it's his opinion. It's because this guy actually studies logic and philosophy, and he actually knows what logic means. He's not just saying it in the way that I, a dumbass, says it. And I've done that to people before. Where it's like, no, when I say logic, I'm talking about an actual field, like studying. Like logic and reason is a concept. People get it. It's not just a thing where
there's a way to be logical. It's not a feeling.
Right. Exactly. It's not a feeling.
Yeah. This guy also. Here's another gem. He talks about all of these leaders being bought by corporations. But when I ask him who he's going to vote for in 2020, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll vote for Trump again." He's a Trump voter. Shocker, shocker. Yeah, I'll vote for Trump again. Yeah, because he's really going to bring the Democrats and Republicans together to the table.
How does he even know Trump's going to run?
Of course he is.
I mean, yeah, of course he is. But I mean, he hasn't announced it yet, has he? Bernie Sanders is going to run. Did you know that?
Yeah, I know. He hasn't announced it yet either. But that's fucking happening.
He announced the double negative of it.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Mid-August this year, which was last month. So I guess like 2 weeks ago, he was on not the Colbert Report. No, I'm just kidding. No, now he's horrible and shitty. He was on Stephen Colbert's nighttime show, whatever the fuck you call it, Daily Show or whatever. It's not the Daily Show. Anyway, who gives a shit? He was on Stephen Colbert's show, and Stephen Colbert said, "Will you say right now that you're not going to run for president in 2020?" And he said no. Because he said he didn't want to talk about running for president, so he said, "Okay, well, can you commit now that you won't run for president?" And then he smiled and said no. Then the audience laughed. Plus, of course, he wrote, you write a book, you go on tour. He's doing everything you do 2 years before you run for president. He posts
a video every fucking day on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Do you follow him on YouTube?
Of course.
He posts some gems, bro.
Yeah, and people always repost it on the Twitter, or not the Twitter, the Facebook sphere.
Yeah, he's so active and in the public eye. He's obviously making a run.
Oh, yeah. And he's going to win if he does. If he runs, he wins. That's it.
Oh, dude, I want to see him fuck Amazon in the ass so hard with like a steel spiked dildo.
I'd pay a premium for that.
Yeah, because that's exactly what he's gonna do. Browsers, he just posted a video.
Whatever. What? Browsers could charge whatever.
Yeah, he's gonna do it too. He posted a video of this one journalist who went undercover in an Amazon warehouse in the UK for like a month.
Okay.
Yeah, and how terrible the working conditions are. Like you probably heard the Amazon workers pissing in a bottle, right?
Oh, dude, yeah. I've worked for Amazon before.
Yeah, you told me that. Here's the thing. I thought it was just Amazon Flex drivers. You know, the delivery drivers who use their own personal vehicle,
Yep.
like Uber for Amazon, pretty much.
I've met them
Yeah. You order from them all the time. Yeah,
all the time.
Yeah. Those guys. I knew they had to do that. I didn't know it was warehouse workers as well.
Oh, it's especially warehouse workers. Yeah.
Yeah, because they literally like sprint across the warehouse to meet their productivity markers.
We carry these little scanners, and they basically dictated everything that you did. I mean, there were certain people that did like some people had to go to shelves and grab them, like the items, and then take them back so they could be shipped off. Other people had to take a new stock and then put them onto the shelves so that they could be later removed from the shelves when people eventually buy them. There's like the spiders. I think those are the people that move the carts around, the carts that people use to move the items. So there's like a lot of little jobs in the warehouse. Like if you look, I mean, it's kind of cool the way it all kind of works like a machine because it's, you know, we're 21st century humans, and that's kind of interesting. But the conditions are horrible. Like I remember, like I actually got fired, and at the same time, yeah, and this at the same time, the guy who worked there, who fired me, told me that in like 90 days or whatever. I don't remember what it was. I'll say 90 days because the time frame is irrelevant. But it's like, oh yeah, 90 days you can reapply, then we'll hire you back again, because that's just how they work. They don't fire people; the computer fires people. And I was fired once. I can't remember what it's called. I was the guy who I had to scan items and then put them into the shelves, so that later when people bought them, they get removed from the shelves. So when new products came in, I put them on the shelves so they could eventually be bought. Because once they're put on the shelves, then they go onto the internet, like it's in stock once it gets to the shelf. So that's what I did. I made them in stock. And so I would have to scan boxes, and even if there's physical space to put an item, there may not be virtual space because they had all these weird rules like, oh, only 6 items can go in each box. Even if the box is like, let's say, half the size of a kitchen, and the 6 things in there are like the sizes of a book. You know, it's like I could fit this giant iMac in here, and this is the only place. But anyway, yeah, no, I got fired. I remember I was in the restroom at one point, and which is already bad because that takes a lot of time away from you. And I was scanning, and but they were telling me, I don't remember who, maybe the manager or someone was saying that it looked like I hadn't been doing anything. I was like, no, I've been like working around. My team lead, who like stands off on the side, and he just said, yeah, he's been going around and like scanning stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'm scanning things. Like, watch this. And we took my scanner, we showed him. I scanned an item, scanned the thing, and then it went through, and I was able to take the item and put it on the shelf like I'm supposed to. And he saw it, like my scanner took it, but then when he checked the computer, it didn't register just because there was like an issue with the server. We've had a day before the entire server went down. We all had to stop working for like 4 hours straight. Like they almost sent us home. It was horrible. But yeah, I got fired because the computer was just like...
the computer got fucked.
Yeah, because the computer was fucked.
It's equally as bad with Amazon Flex drivers. Like there's this one, there's this one like, I guess you could call her an up-and-coming actress that I follow on Snapchat. Her name is Mackenzie Stiff. She used to be a Viner, too. And I've been following her for a while, and she's an Amazon Flex driver, and one day her app kind of, like, glitches out. I don't remember exactly what happened. It's kind of similar to your story, actually. Like her, and she didn't make, like, her quota or something. She didn't deliver in time or something. But she did. The app just, like, told the company that she didn't.
Right, like just a
it
ping
fucked
error
up.
or server error or something.
Yeah, it fucked up, and she lost her job. She got kicked off the platform, and she the only reason that she got her job back was because she like rallied all her followers to tweet the fuck and email the fuck out of Amazon until she got her job back.
So
which she eventually did. So she's lucky. Yeah,
she has that following.
Yeah, but most people do not. And they get boned by Amazon. Bernie Sanders called their working model basically work you until you're burnt out, toss you aside. That's
pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insert Bezos meme. I'm very proud of our working conditions. Have you seen that clip?
No, but I did the math. Actually.
It's such a meme now.
I did the math out of kicks. You might be interested to hear this. So Amazon has about 500,000 employees worldwide. It's not just Amazon. Amazon UK, Amazon everything. Every Amazon. So Jeff Bezos, up until the beginning of September, profited $40 billion himself. Personally, this year. So far. Just this year. $40 billion. That's it. And
Pocket change.
Pocket change. So whatever. And I was thinking, well, let's say it's only through September, right? So he'll profit more. But let's say that's all he profits this year is just that $40 billion. What if he gave every single employee of his, part-time, full-time, seasonal, lower management, upper management, bottom of the everyone, every single person who works for Amazon, let's say Jeff Bezos, for just some reason, said, I want to give everybody an additional $5,000 per year. Let's say he decided to do that. You know, like I said, he profited $40 billion. You know how much he would profit? He would have profited up until September if he decided to give everyone a $5,000 raise, every single person worldwide. He would have profited about $37.5 billion so far. So what is it, Jeff? Can he just not afford? Because a third of Amazon employees in the state of Arizona, a third of them are on food stamps.
And it's not like him or any of his ancestors will ever be able to spend that in their entire lifetime. For the next, like...
He just got $40 billion this year alone.
Yeah.
He's worth over like $155 billion.
Think about his family over the next, like, even millennium. Like his descendants, they're just going to be good. Like, I can imagine for the next, like, 1,000 years, Bezos family is just going to be good. I'm not even joking.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't understand why anybody is opposed to the estate tax. Because taxes need to happen so we can pay for basic necessities, right? Who better to tax than rich dead people? And everyone's like, oh, what? You can't leave money back to your kids? Like, that's not what the estate tax is, you dumb fuck. Like, are you planning on your parents leaving you more than $11 million? Because guess what? If your parents...
Well, that's right. It did just get raised, didn't it?
Yeah.
It used to be...
$5
million. Now it's double that.
Yeah.
Over double.
But even before...
Nobody has that.
Even what it was before Trump and before we raised it, right? Like, if your family had a farm and they left you a farm, a $4 million farm, and you got every penny of that, you would be charged $0.00 for that $4 million. Because the estate tax used to only apply after like $5.5 million. Now it applies after like $11.5. But still, and it's not like it's 100%. So if someone left you $20 million, the first $11.5 million, you get all of that, and then the last, $8.5, $9 million, that's taxed at a certain percentage. That's what the estate tax is. How could anyone be against that?
It's not 100%. Honestly, it should be.
It should be. Yeah, 100% it should be.
I think, at $11 million, actually, that's kind of reasonable to tax 100% after that.
Yeah. Well, that's my kids' money. No, it's not. It's your money. But it's my kids. Yeah, they didn't earn it. You earned it in your lifetime. You got it through our economy. Now you are dead. You don't own money. It's owned by the Federal Reserve. It's borrowed by the citizens. So once you are dead, you are no longer borrowing it. We will allow you to give $11 million to your family. You're welcome. The government lets you do that. And then you got to give the rest back to help the rest of the people so we have a more perfect union. And if you're opposed to that, I'm sorry, you're retarded, because $11.5 million is more than most people will see their entire lifetime.
Yeah.
And we're saying you are allowed to be handed that for free per person that dies in your family. Every time someone dies, you can get up to $11 million tax-free. That's not enough for you?
Imagine how well the economy would do if that system was in place and Jeff Bezos just croaked it, Oh, man.
Dude, that would be amazing. I've said before, he could cure homelessness, pay for everyone's college and everyone's health care for a couple years straight. He could do all of that and still have money.
That guy, I had this realization the other day that guy is the new fucking John D. Rockefeller.
Oh, yeah.
He's the new Rockefeller.
You told me that.
It makes total sense. John D. Rockefeller, if you don't know, was the first billionaire ever. He had a monopoly, which Bezos is approaching. It's almost 50% now of all internet transactions go through Amazon.
It is 50.
Yeah. Yeah. What
Which is
else? There was another
crazy.
thing. He was the first billionaire. Yeah, and Jeff Bezos is now the first 100 billionaire.
This is true.
Yeah. Also the richest man in the world. Just like Rockefeller.
Rockefeller didn't have his own rockets, though.
That's true. He was almost as much of an asshole as Jeff Bezos was.
That's
Almost.
really saying something.
Almost.
That's really saying something. That guy's
Seriously,
a monster.
didn't Rockefeller have a problem with working conditions as well? Like people fucking dying in his steel mills?
In that time, though, kind of everybody.
That's true.
Everybody did.
But the mere fact of the industry that he was in, steel, it probably
Right.
was more conducive to a fuck ton of deaths.
Like
And I know it happened quite a bit.
Be like if you lived in the late 19th century and you made a ton of money off of coal. Like, how do you think you treated people who worked for you?
Probably not. Well,
let's take a guess. You know, man, it's crazy though, because Amazon isn't just, dude. And Facebook's doing the same thing. It's like, hey, what's this thing you heard about? WhatsApp? Oh, did you hear about that? Oh, what's WhatsApp? Yeah, everybody in Europe is using WhatsApp and messaging each other. You mean they're not using Facebook Messenger? Nope. I guess we gotta buy it. So then Facebook buys WhatsApp, and then now WhatsApp's owned by Facebook. Oh, and Instagram. Instagram's owned by Facebook. So yeah. So it's funny. People are like, yeah, I'm done with Facebook. I'm just gonna use Instagram. Like, it's still them.
it's the same shit.
Same guy. Literally the same people.
You know, it's funny because Zuckerberg looks like just like a non-threatening lizard boy, but he really does like control your life.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
just today I was going through my ad settings on Facebook. It's crazy the shit that I posted a picture. It was talking about advertisers who had uploaded my information, because it also shows you that, like advertisers who have you on lists and stuff. Donald Trump was one of those people. I put it up on my Snapchat and my Facebook. I took a screenshot and circled it with a red on-screen pen. And I thought, that's funny that Donald Trump, not him specifically, I can't imagine, but at least his campaign has my information and has been an advertiser that has released my information. It's very nice of the president to sell me out like that. Like, it just struck me as hilarious. I had to repost that because I thought, thank you, Donald Trump, for selling my information. Dick.
Appreciate it.
But I appreciate that.
It does. That doesn't really shock me, nor should it you.
That's where we are, though. It's like I can't even be frustrated. I can't even be upset. All I do is I see this shit. I just sigh and go, "What do you expect?" What did you think would be the case?
When am I moving again? Yeah. Honestly, like when the 2016 election happened, there were a ton of people like joking, "Yeah, I'm gonna move to Canada now that Trump is president." But honestly, I every day that we're not only in this administration, but just the more I realized how like backwards the U.S. is in general, the more I just want to like get the fuck out of here. Like I was looking into Denmark in particular because my family is Danish. I'm of Danish heritage, and also it's just a great fucking country. They have obviously universal health care. They have free college,
6 weeks paid leave by
6
law.
weeks paid leave. I believe a stipend, a monthly stipend, right? They have a form of universal income as well.
Yep.
Their prison system's fucking great. They focus on rehabilitation, subsidized healthcare. The country's just fucking awesome, and it's beautiful too.
Oh yeah, the
and
recidivism
so are the women.
rate is really low too. They have a really low recidivism rate.
Yeah. It's a great country. So I was looking into it, and even it's so hard to get into. The easiest way to do it is to go in as a student, and if you go in as a student, you have to pay Danish taxes, but you still also have to pay American taxes at the end of the year. You still also have to pay American taxes, so you're effectively paying a 50% tax rate. So that's.
I love Danishes though.
I fuck off. So I was like, okay, what if you like theoretically went wife hunting in Denmark and you found somebody and you
What
married that
if
person.
you theoretically? I want everyone to notice that we did say the word theoretically.
Yeah.
This
Theoretically.
This is the thinking show.
We
just
have
like to
not
think.
thought about this nor planned a trip / bought plane tickets.
That would be
I swear.
preposterous.
But yeah, if you theoretically went
By the way,
wife
did you
hunting
get your
there
passport yet? Did you get your passport?
I had the picture taken today.
Yeah, the picture.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, you just go to Walgreens. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah, so if you married somebody there, here are the requirements for you to move to Denmark with them and live in the same household. So, 1, you have to both be at least 24 years old.
Check.
Okay. 2, that person has to have a house big enough for both of you to live in. A house. Not an apartment, a house.
Okay. So
Item number 3.
what if you buy the house? That's cool.
I don't know. I didn't look into the nuances of it, but
Okay.
there's that. Item number 3. You have to put down an $8,000 deposit. Your significant other does, just to prove that they can provide for you, which seems kind of fucked, because how are they going to provide for you if you just paid the government $8,000? And I'm not even done. Item number 4. You have to pass a Danish language test within 6 months of moving there. That's just to marry somebody. Like, how many in America? How many like mail order brides come into the country, like a year, just because they married some dude? That's it. That's all you have to do. Just put a ring on your finger. That's it. Denmark is like, fuck you. Yeah.
Yeah. When Kimberly came here, my ex, we just got married, like in a little place. It was like $100. Mm-hmm. We both signed a piece of paper. And, then we went through immigration, and it was a big pain. We had to do a lot of paperwork, and it cost thousands and thousands of dollars. But
it wasn't that.
No, it wasn't that expensive. No, I think in total we may have paid, like, it was less than $5,000 in total. Like, for everything, it was less than $5,000. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for everything.
But how much of a pain in the ass does that sound like? Yeah.
Yeah, that's not. We didn't have to get a house. That seems kind of ridiculous.
Well, it's because on certain issues, the Danish government is more right than the American government, and immigration is one of those issues. They really don't like people moving into the country.
Makes sense. They have a nice country.
Yeah, that's true. They're really right wing when it comes to that.
Yeah, I mean, you do need some immigration for like certain industries. Like in America, for example, like the agriculture industry is almost entirely undocumented migrants, but yeah, no, that's kind of interesting. I was looking into the UK because I go to the UK like twice a year, so everybody makes fun of me. I have a fucking tea cupboard, man. Like, it's just time to face, it's time to face it. But I was looking at ways to go to the UK, which is interesting that whilst I was married to a Brit, I didn't take the advantage of getting dual citizenship, because I actually could have, because of how easy it is to move to the UK. There's a ton of visas, a ton of work visas, student visas. They need nurses, they need medics. I mean, it's not as difficult to get there than it is like a lot of other places, I think.
I wonder if it also helps if you gain citizenship into an EU country, and then you can probably easily get into another one.
What language do you speak? Because there's no English-speaking EU country.
My point is, you get your foot in the door. You see what I'm saying?
No. Because you'd have to learn another language to get into an EU country.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Britain's not part of the EU anymore.
Right, yeah. So if you wanted to go to Europe, your best bet is the UK. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the UK. Maybe Ireland. But you just go to Northern Ireland, which is the UK as well. But yeah, no.
Ireland's not so bad. They're getting better and better.
Their language is disgusting to me.
I actually find Irish accents pretty sexy myself.
I like the accents. I don't like the language.
Yeah. Yeah, just speak English, please.
It's in their airports. It's disgusting. Like, I'm an American. You should cater your world to me.
Same thing with Germany. That's like the image that all these Germans have of Americans. Just like
It's true.
it is true though.
Excuse me. We're from Idaho, and
Can you tell it like they all speak English?
Okay,
but
I
they get super. I've had conversations with Germans about this. They'll like be polite and like give you directions, but they'll be kind of perturbed that you didn't even try to speak German. You know?
hey, I got a question for you. Come over here, son. El Huero donde la bathroom?
Like when I was living in Germany, I was pretty much one of those fucking Americans because I was living in a little town called Voldemort, and
Sorry, what was it called?
Voldemort. Waldmohr. Yes,
Okay.
Voldemort. I'm aware of what it sounds
I'm
like.
glad.
I know. Yes. So I was living in Voldemort, and
Stop saying that.
and
Just say Germany.
I was mowing my lawn, and and behind us is another house and another backyard there. And this old like shirtless German dude comes at me and is like yelling at me in German. I'm like, I'm sorry, no sprechen Sie Deutsch, and he like motions his son to come over because apparently he speaks English, and he's like, oh, excuse me, yes, your trimmings they appear to be in our yard.
Your trimmings in our yard, and they should not be in our yard.
So could you please refrain from doing that? And it was like, oh yeah, sorry man, it's chill. Yeah, so the old dude is basically, hey, can you talk to this dumbass American, please?
So you know kindergarten, but you do not know.
So you know kindergarten, but you don't know.
Maddeningly inconsistent.
You are maddeningly inconsistent. I love How I Met Your Mother. Yeah, but I was pretty much one of those dumb Americans. I'm not gonna lie. I do kind of blame my parents a little bit because I lived there as a fucking child, at like 7 or 8, and never took lessons.
That's horrible.
Yeah, we lived in off base too.
Or as they would say in Germany, that's horrible, but they would say it in German.
Which I would not know.
Das ist schlecht.
Sorry, I don't speak queer.
I just said it in German.
Right.
You just hate my jokes. It's all this is. Yeah. You just want to just destroy any
I gotta go now. I got things.
any
to like.
chance of hope or fun that I had. No, I was actually talking with these Germans when I was in Berlin about how I wish I could live in somewhere like Germany or the UK, especially Germany. Germany's so beautiful. I was like, yeah, but the thing is, my German's horrible. And then this guy was laughing at me. He's this American guy who lives in Germany. He owns this gay karaoke bar, and he was dressed up like a woman because he was a really fun fellow like that. And I didn't know it was a gay bar because I'm stupid. But yeah, he was making fun of me because he was like, "Oh, what? You think you need to speak German to live in Berlin? Like, what are you, nuts?" It's like, what have we been speaking this whole time? Like English. Like, yeah. Notice my accent sounds like yours? Welcome to Berlin. And, because in Germany, 70% of the population speaks English. But in Berlin, it's like nearly 100%. It's crazy. So, yeah, I didn't know.
It does make sense.
I didn't know it was
Germany,
a gay bar, man.
like Berlin is to Germany as New York is to America.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's like it's not the rest of the country.
Right, it's like it's the major city of the country.
Right.
Our the major city is New York City.
Right.
Theirs is Berlin.
Right. So it's not
like
not
London.
Germany.
Like
It's not
London's
Germany.
not England.
Yeah.
Like you go to London and you're like, wow, this is that, and then you go to the rest of the country and you say, oh, okay, no, the country's more like this. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it's really in its own zone, category.
One time a GPS in London had me drive into this little, like, okay, I'm not kidding you, and it's going to sound like unless you're listening from England, and then you're just going to say, oh yeah, that happens all the time, of course. but if you live in America, this is going to sound like I'm exaggerating. I'm not. A GPS had me go down this little road once where people were parked on both sides of the road, on the road. And it was already one of those roads where it's one lane going one way, one lane going the other way, but they're so small, to an American you'd think, is this just a single lane one way? And then there's two cars parked on both sides of the road, and I was driving down this road, and the road was getting smaller and smaller, and eventually it just ended. But there was no way to turn around because on both sides of you there were cars. I started thinking, one, how did these cars even get parked here? Because I just don't see, like, physically how. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that someone doesn't have the ability. I'm saying if all humans got together and said, let's get these cars assembled in this order, I don't know how we could do it. It just can't. Pyramids, that makes sense. These cars didn't make sense. And so I had to, like, Austin Powers it, you know, like where you back up an inch and you go forward an inch, like that. Yeah, for like 10 minutes to turn around. I'm not kidding you. And I got full coverage on that rental car, but even still, I was like, I'm not.
Did you hit it?
No, I didn't hit anything. I got out of there perfectly, so smooth. Like, I felt like my cock was 18 inches when that happened. Felt like it was just rock, like made of steel. Because I was like, hell yeah, I just Austin Powers out of that. And then I looked at my GPS, and it's like, oh, you want me to keep going? Well, that's really wonderful, because there's a fucking tree there. Or, you know, so that's wonderful. That's really smart. And I had to just keep going until the GPS gave up and then decided to give me real directions. Oh, did I tell you I saw the, last time I was there, I saw Stonehenge on accident.
On accident? You
Yeah.
didn't tell me that, actually.
Oh, yeah, no, I was just, I was driving in the direction of Somerset from London, and I wasn't even thinking about it. I took some secondary road because I wanted to see something or pass by. I can't even remember why, but I did. Maybe it was easier. But then I was just looking, and I was like, what are these fucking dumbass people doing? And I looked, and like, oh, they're looking. Oh, that's Stonehenge right there.
Look at that. I don't care.
Right, and I was like, oh, maybe I should, like, stop and look at it. And I looked, and I saw there's a bunch of people, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to look at it for a second. And I was like, yeah, well, that's interesting.
Okay, I'm good.
All right, I'm cool.
Bucket list, check.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. I'm happy. And I know if I told my parents that story, they'd be like, wouldn't you want to go up and, like, see them? Why? You can see them closer. Okay? How wonderful is, how eidetic is your memory that you can say, 8 years ago I saw Stonehenge, and I'm so glad that I was 18 meters closer than I was, because how vivid it was, man, is so much different, man. My hippocampus is like the shit when it comes to converting things to long-term memory. I'm basically a god. Like, no, I'm not going to remember the difference. It was a bunch of rocks. Okay? It was probably used as a timepiece a long time ago. Whoop-de-doo. That was fun.
Cool. Mystery solved.
Right. Mystery solved. Next.
Off to
Get
more
a pint.
interesting places.
Yeah, like a pub. Yeah, actually.
Speaking of that town that Ellie lives in. Wells. I really want to visit that pub that's in Hot Fuzz. It's a real pub. It's a real pub. Apparently, she tells me that the drinks there are obscenely priced, and I could see that.
That would make sense.
Just because they were in a movie, that's all you need.
Yeah, I was actually headed to see her when I accidentally saw Stonehenge.
Yeah, I figured. You said you were going to Somerset.
Yeah, in the direction of Somerset from London. Yeah.
Yeah. Is Wells pretty gorgeous?
I mean, it's nice, and like, it's a quiet little area. The people at Tesco are weird.
That's Walmart, right?
Asda is Walmart.
Oh, okay. What's Tesco?
Tesco is like, so you know how here we have like a Target, which is a less shitty Walmart? Imagine like a slightly better Target.
I can't imagine that.
So
Target is the pinnacle of customer service.
That's weird, but I mean, there's like this Walmart at the bottom.
It's not bad though.
Yeah, Target is like the top of the shitty stores. Like, if you're gonna go to a cheap store, Target's the best.
Target is not cheap anymore.
Well, but you get what I'm like.
I get what
big department stores.
You're saying. Yeah.
But then Tesco is like a step above that. Like, I actually really like Tesco. I've shopped there a few times.
But why are the Tesco's weird?
The people in the Tesco's in Wells and the surrounding area.
Like the people of
The-
Walmart, weird.
No, like the employees. Like they seem like people who live in places where they don't see many people.
So weirdos,
Yeah.
serial killers,
No, just like
people
really
who don't give a
asocial.
shit. Yeah.
Really asocial. Well, I mean, people don't give a shit in customer service. That's all Britain. I mean, let's get real here.
So their whole country is essentially Walmart level customer service.
Yeah, it actually, it really is. That's really funny you say that. No, I mean they have a lot nicer shit than we do, for sure. But yeah, their customer like over here in America, it's like, oh, you always gotta smile. The customer's always right. You gotta fucking do everything and whatever you can to make sure the customer's happy and enjoys everything. But then in the UK, they just kind of like act like people. They're like not overly nice and overly accommodating. They're just kind of normal. And so to Americans, we're like, you guys are fucking assholes. And then they come here and they're like, why is everybody so nice? And we're like, we're not. We're
Faking it.
We're faking it. They're just annoying. We don't like this bullshit. We don't like your bullshit. We don't like anything. We just hate everything.
Welcome to America.
I mean, 4th of July is like Happy Fuck You England Day. I mean, come on.
You've said that before. I've seen the Facebook statuses. Every year.
I always repost that song, "Fuck You England," on the 4th of July. The song gets so many views on the 4th of July. Oh, and Tyler Alexander, he always sends me that video too on the 4th of July. Fuck you, England. Fuck you. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I urinated on England on the 4th of July in 2015.
Do you really want to admit that in a podcast that is recorded and going on the internet?
100%. If anybody from the border security in the UK is listening to this, yes, I peed on your land. You know what else I did? I took the money that I earned here in America and I bought some of your shit with it. So you're welcome. We're even. That's how tourism works. I take money from my country and I throw it into your economy.
And I do whatever the fuck I want to your country.
Dude, oh my God. I love England. Do you know why I love England?
Many reasons, but I'm sure you're about to subvert my expectations.
Wrong. I'm going to meet them. I'm going to meet them exactly. And that's how I'm going to subvert them. But
what are you, Ryan Johnson?
Shut up. So guess what? In England, booze, especially like in Norwich, I always go to Norwich all the time because I don't know why actually. Probably just because I'm familiar with it and it's kind of like a little like home away from like I know the streets and anyway, yeah. So in Norwich, everything's really cheap, booze wise, and so the first time I ever hung out with my friend Megan, I've told you about Megan.
Yeah.
We went out with her, a couple of her friends. That's where I met like Callum and a couple other guys. We went to this place called Fluke, and it was like this underground little bar type thing with a dance floor and all that. And they had these things called fluckets, and they were buckets of like a vodka drink, but they were delicious and fruity. And it was like this big. I mean, it was like a legit. It was like a bucket. You could put many straws in it if you wanted. They were £5 each. I was like, £5? What's it, like $7? Like for a fucking bucket? I looked around. I was like, yeah, can I get like 8 fluckets, like just whatever flavor? And I like whipped out my Apple Watch, paid with my Apple Watch, feeling like I felt like such a badass because it's like, wait a minute, your booze here costs nothing. Well, I'll buy 8. Who wants one? And like people are like, yeah, here, take a fucking whatever. Like, yeah, I'm just the American guy buying everyone drinks because you're cheap. You're like that's the cost of a beer.
You probably
where
got
I live.
obscenely fucked up.
Oh yeah, dude, I don't remember a lot of that night. And I know a lot of them don't either because we all went back to this. Anyway, no, it's so cheap there. It's great. Like I've never felt like that song "King for a Day" by Green Day. The essence of that song was my emotion that night. Like £5. Like I'll take 8. Like I think she even asked me. Like I made a joke about like, what do you want to take 2? Like I'll take 8. Actually, I think that's exactly how the conversation went. Because I was like £5. That's like $7. That's nothing. I was like, for all that? It's like, yeah, may as well get 2. I'll take 8.
Bitch.
Yeah, and I gave one to
Did
Megan.
she
I
look
gave
shocked?
one to, yeah, because who the hell does that? That's retarded. Why would you do that?
A dude who's way too keen to get fucking trashed.
Like, look, guys, I'm from America, okay? Yeah, Arizona's one of the cheapest states in the union for alcohol. That is true. We did.
It's still expensive as shit,
Yeah,
though.
it's still expensive. Yeah, and then you go over to fucking Norwich, England, and it's like, here's a bucket of fucking vodka that can just fuck you up. 5 pounds. And it's flavored, and there's like strawberry
yeah, why
or
isn't
blueberry.
that a thing here? That sounds incredible.
Oh, dude. Man, you should really come to England with me sometime.
That's actually part of the reason why I'm working fucking 80-hour work weeks.
Like, I'm going to visit Seth, because my birthday's coming up in a couple weeks. I'm going to visit Seth for my birthday. But after that, I think I'm actually really... I haven't told you this yet at all. This is actually the first time bringing this up with you. I'm actually thinking maybe for a while, like maybe half a year or something like that, I might take a break from going on holiday just so I could save up, because I want to save up a lot of money for one really big holiday, like maybe like 3 weeks long, like something like that, you know, like, well, but one where you can, or maybe only 2 weeks, but one where you can stay at like relatively nice places. You know, you can take your time and you take first class trains everywhere. A nice one like that where it's like, hey, I want to go to Germany and England and maybe Sweden or whatever, or
Denmark.
Danishes. The
Okay.
donut? Are they donuts technically? Are Danishes donuts?
Why do we hang out?
Because we're contractually obligated.
Shit. Right. We have another season.
Damn. We have another season.
Yeah, no, we really need to go to Copenhagen, though. That should be that's on my list. The list of countries that I want to visit when I go overseas are England, Germany, Denmark. That's pretty much it.
Oh, okay. Fly into of those places. Fly into London then, and start in London, and then just go out from there. Because
We take the train to Germany and then Denmark. Yeah.
Yeah, I took the train once from Brussels to London. It was so cool. You're underwater for like, I don't know, like an hour or something. Yeah, it's a really short ride. I mean, I was sitting next to this beautiful woman. She was like she was from the Netherlands. She was maybe like, I think she was in her mid-50s. She's about like the age of my mother. I don't mean beautiful like hot or attractive or something, but like just like, you know, like when someone's just like a beautiful person, like there's just a really good person, you know. And I mean, she was attractive for her age, whatever. But that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, I was sitting next to this woman, and she was such a delight. Like, we were talking about politics, and we were talking about just, you know, just everything, like sports, like religion, family, and we just had this really good conversation. And that happens all the fucking time in Europe, because you know who takes the train? Everybody. So whenever you just get on one of these long, like from country to country, you just end up sitting next to people, and you talk to them, and everybody, you know, because everybody takes the train. You know, I took a train from Berlin to Cologne once. It was just a few hours, just Germany to Germany, but I was sitting in first class like I always do because it's cheap and it's, you know, more comfortable. Sat across from this guy who retired. He worked at Silicon Valley. He lived in California. He worked there. He programmed for like 25 or 30 years, and now he's traveling around and he's retired. His wife was like handicapped, so she couldn't go with him or anything, but she still, you know, he still goes out and does stuff. And he was just such a cool guy to talk to, and he had a lot of insight. And yeah, I'm really glad we don't have anything like that here in America, where people can just like really like spread ideas. It's almost like here in America, I don't think a lot of Europeans understand this. In America, a lot of people are saying, I think you, Schmidt, would agree that maybe things like Facebook should be regulated more like the public square, because it's kind of become the new public square. You know, like free speech should apply to things like Facebook, because that's why we have the public square, so we can share ideas. But people don't go to the public square anymore.
I agree with that, as long as corporations can charge whatever the fuck they want and slow speeds down.
What?
Slow speeds down for people and voices that we don't like, and also people who don't pay their bribes.
Oh, you're being sarcastic.
What would make you believe that?
That question. That question. Damn it. But yes. Yeah, I think you would agree.
Ajit Cream Pie.
Cream pie.
He has recently been getting boned in the media.
What? He's Pie
such
Boy?
a nice guy.
I love Pie Boy.
Yeah, old Cream Pie. Basically,
Did his fidget spinner stop spinning or something? Or what the hell's the problem?
he's such an asshole.
Such a fucking cunt. Who does that? I need another
Well,
water.
he basically, I think he went up in front of Congress, and they were no, he went up in front of the Senate, and they were basically grilling him about the DDoS attacks.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
DDoS.
the DDoS.
Yeah, it's a hacking method.
Yeah. Turns out he
really
wasn't hacked at all. They just shut down the comic section, right?
Really?
I think that's what happened. I know he was bullshitting in some way.
Yeah, because DDoS is a really very specific and a very lazy form of hacking. DDoSing is basically when you force other people's devices to do something for you, and then you get multiple devices to all attack a server, for example. And
That's what he
enslaving.
said.
Yeah.
That's what he said happened. But he tried to weasel out of it. I don't remember what the full context of it was. He was trying to.
So that happened to what? What got hacked? Is he claiming?
Like the SEC or FCC, the FCC website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When they opened it up for comments on net neutrality, I think. And yeah, apparently they got so inundated.
How would he know they were DDoS though? That's a very specific thing to know.
He pulled it out of his ass.
Because I was gonna say if I was DDoSed, I don't think I would know that off the bat, and I know how to do that. I can hack people, and I don't even think I would get that off the bat.
I think the full context of it was they opened up the whole net neutrality thing for public comment, and people were fucking overloading their servers.
Yeah, because 90 some odd percent of the
so I guess it crashed.
Then he thought it was a DDoS.
Yeah, I guess
just that hated asshole.
I guess to save face and be like, no, it was somebody hacked us. No. Yeah, I think that's what happened. Don't quote me on that.
That sounds relatively familiar. I've been really focusing on my studies the past couple weeks, so I've kind of slightly been out of the loop.
Tuned out.
A little bit. I've been trying to pay attention, and it's really fucking hard, especially with Trump recently. And I hate just sounding like I'm bashing on Trump because it's just so easy. But there's just one thing after another. I mean, the book coming out, we're finding out more information about Trump behind the scenes, Cohen's testimony. I mean, yeah, it's just the emoluments case that is continuing to progress. Why are there 8,000 things that the president has a couple of them we know for sure, but let's just say that. There's at least a couple things, federally illegal things that the president has willingly and knowingly done. And we all know that. What a scary time we're in. And I'm not even saying that has nothing to do with Trump, but just think about that. We live in a country where we can have a president that commits felonies and potentially could just see no ramifications for that. I know you could say, well, George Bush and Obama, they were war criminals, and yet, yeah, okay, I get that, but this is this is, I think, different. Trump was supposed to be the anti-establishment candidate. He was the one who was supposed to say, or he was saying that he was the outsider. He didn't take corporate money, and now he's getting in all these scandals with money. And
because he lied.
Right.
He fucking lied. He's totally establishment.
But don't tell me a businessman would lie to me.
What?
What? Are you fucking kidding me? Who the hell do you think you are?
Yeah, he's so corrupt. I think he might be more corrupt than George Bush.
Yeah, I actually came to that understanding, let's call it, about a week or so ago.
But what's funny is he campaigned on being not corrupt.
That's the disappointing thing.
What did he say? He was going to clear the swamp. Was that the verbiage? Drain the swamp.
Drain the swamp. Yeah, I didn't know by that he meant he was going to drain it and then refill it. See, that That's not what we wanted. Okay, you didn't throw that part in.
Drain the swamp and then refill it with 20 times more mucked up waters.
Like, hey, look, we got this swimming pool in the back. We just need to get all the water out. We just need to drain that, and maybe we'll do something with it. We'll make it a workout room or something.
No.
Okay, well, we drained your pool, and then we put new water in it.
What he did is he drained the pool and he refilled it with sulfuric acid.
And by the way, he didn't drain it for a very long time. Pretty much as soon as it was out, the sulfuric acid just came flowing in. And a lot of Democrats helped it happen. Fucking even it was Elizabeth Warren. Like, Ben Carson? Yeah, okay, I'll vote for him. Like, really, Elizabeth? Really? And then she's like, well, hey, if not him, then, they'll just put up someone else horrible. Like, okay, well, then vote no for them, too. Like, Elizabeth, dude.
That's
Liz,
why she's the
Liz.
second best politician we have.
And I don't want to sound like I'm bashing her because I like Elizabeth Warren, but that's pretty sad that she's the second best that we have.
She voted yes on the military budget increase.
Yeah, she did. That's why.
Why?
It's so sad.
Liz, please. Come on, Liz.
I mean, I love her no-nonsense approach when she interrogates people. She basically refuses to do anything but ask a yes or no question, and people hate answering yes or no questions because it's really hard to lie when you only have two options, each of which are one word, completely antithetical to each other.
She is kind of a badass in situations. You think she's gonna run in 2020?
No.
I really fucking hope she doesn't.
I don't think she will.
If she does, that's gonna detract a lot from Bernie Sanders. What?
I was saying I shouldn't say I know. I think she's considering it, but I don't think she'll run.
I saw that interview that she did recently, where she was asked directly, "Hey, are you So she was asked this question. She was asked, so she's up for re-election in the Senate, right? And she was asked, are you going to fill your whole 6-year term if you get reelected? And she said, she said, I will not be running for president. That's what she said. So she didn't say
if she gets elected.
Yeah,
I bet.
I will not be if she gets reelected. You mean?
Yeah. So the question they basically want to know: hey, should we actually vote for you for Senate, or if you make Senate, are you just going to bail on the state and become
That's
president?
exactly what she'll do. Yeah,
that's exactly what she'll do. Yeah.
Yeah. Who would say? Who would actually answer that question?
Yeah,
you pulled a politician, you know?
Right. No. Yeah. Who's going to tell the truth? Right there. Yeah. No. Yeah. If I become senator. And I knew I had the opportunity to be president, I wouldn't run. No. Senators make what, 250 something like that thousand a year. President makes like about 400,000. I'm just kidding. Like, that's the incentive to become president. We really need to de-incentivize Congress. Tell me what you think about this. So, I want your opinion on this.
Lay it on me.
Okay, so Congress, the concept is Americans, citizens who like their country and they want to help improve it, can run for a position in government, in the Congress, to help make laws, pass bills, and you do it because you want to stand out and be an outstanding citizen and you want to help your country. That's the concept. Now, in this country, if you become a congressperson, you get paid around approximately $250,000 a year. Okay, so about as much as some doctors, which is a lot. You get free health care for your family. You get travel benefits. You get your office in D.C. and home and all this. Ton of perks, and that's all well in games. I think that is exactly sufficient to be a congressperson. I think if you have any more incentives than that, I think you start incentivizing people who don't want to be congresspeople just because they want to be outstanding citizens and they want to improve their country. But I think once you start saying things like, oh, by the way, you can become a multimillionaire in Congress. Because,
like Ted Cruz.
Right, like Ted Cruz. Exactly.
You know Ted Cruz
like most
is
of them.
$3.5 million. He has $3.5 million.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. As I'm saying, like, because that incentive exists, people who want power, who for some reason, thanks to psychology, happen to be the people who are also most likely to obtain power.
They're psychopaths.
Right, a lot of them. You get a lot of sociopaths and all this nonsense. But it attracts these people. That's why you get so many corrupt people. I think that's the true reason we really need to get money out of politics, is because then it's like, oh, why on earth would you want to join the Senate or Congress in general? Because it's like, well, yeah, they pay all right, but it's a whole lot of work and there's not that much incentive. Oh, why would you do it? Because you actually care about this country and you want to represent the people. That would be the only people who would apply for the job.
Just make like $100,000 a year.
Yeah, I actually think 250,000 is too much. I would say like I'm thinking like 170 ballpark in there, like 150, 170,000 a year.
I wouldn't even say that. Yeah, I'd say like just straight up 6 figures. Boom, you're in there. You're top class.
Oh yeah, I guess that study did show after 90,000, you're not any happier. But I would still say at least 150 minimum. Because if you want to be a congressperson and you also want to have a family, I think that should be okay. And if you want to say, hey, I want our entire family, like my wife included or my husband included, whatever, to help me help America, and they want to quit their job whilst you're in Congress or whatever, they should be able to do that. And if you're making 150,000, you can easily support 2 people.
I guess I can see that.
Right.
I mean, you can still support people on like 100,000.
I know, but there's they don't need to be stressing about money if they have America in their hands. I want them to be comfortable. That is important to me that they're comfortable. I think 150,000 is perfect. If people say, hey, 250,000, we should keep it there, I'd be okay with settling for that if that meant we could just get money out of politics. If keep getting money out of politics means they stay at $250,000 a year, whatever. I'd rather get that out of there. We don't need that kind of incentive. I don't need to be making $60,000 because I'm going to vote no on something tomorrow. That's insane. How many things do you vote on in Congress? A lot.
Yeah. How many people have you met who think that campaign contributions don't have like a direct impact on how you vote?
I've met a few people, actually.
Because I have met a few. It baffles me.
It's well, the thing is, here's the difference I've seen between, I won't say the left and the right. I'll say the people and then the corporatists. Here's what's the difference between the people, you and me, and the corporatists, the people we speak about, or about whom we speak. They can't understand our ideas. And they say that. They'll say that. Like, I don't even understand how you think that. Right? Like, they don't understand our thought process. They say that to us. But we don't understand how they can think what they think. And I always found that interesting. It's like, how can you say my position's wrong when you just admitted you can't understand my position? I understand your position. I just can't believe that someone would think it makes sense. Or that someone would think it's a good position. You literally don't like, if I said, hey, play devil's advocate and pretend to be a liberal, make an argument that a liberal would make. Most conservatives I know, they would only give the straw man one, and I would say no, an actual liberal would never say that. And I'm not saying like an actual liberal like in a fallacious way. I mean, like, let's say, what's a liberal party? The Justice Democrats? Okay, cool. Look at literally anything on their platform. Let's say that's liberal. Okay. They wouldn't make any of those arguments. But if you told me, hey, TJ, pretend to be a conservative and play devil's advocate, I can speak exactly like Ben Shapiro would speak. Or I could say any of these things because I listen. I know exactly what you're saying. I just can't believe you think it's a good idea. Whereas you even admit you don't understand. Like, oh, I don't understand how you could think that. I don't understand what you're saying. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, that doesn't make sense. You ever hear people say that to you? That doesn't make sense? I hear that all the time. I'm like, no, I totally understand what you're saying. I am able to comprehend what, like a child. If a child's trying to tell me about a toy, I can understand that. But if I try to tell it about astrophysics, it's going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? Yeah, I just compared. Yeah, I just did that.
Yeah, it really it baffles me because if you have somebody giving you tens of thousands of dollars,
sometimes more.
Yeah, I think just this year Paul Ryan has raised something like
some millions.
$500,000.
Oh, I bet
Yeah.
it's in the millions if you actually.
Yeah, like if somebody writes you a $200,000 check, you're probably gonna take that person's call a little bit more than the grandma who donated $27.
Yeah, I might listen to that voicemail first.
You know, and you might be a little more attentive, and you might want to, hey, maybe cut a deal this time round. You know, but what's his name? The Beto O'Rourke, the guy running for Senate against Ted Cruz in Texas right now. He put it this way. He's like, you know, if you're taking corporate PAC money, your ideas are just you're going to be in a room with these people, and you're going to be a lot more tempted to kind of adopt their politics and their worldview.
Right. Okay.
And you're going to be a lot more tempted to be like, hey, you maybe just this time I'll cut a deal with him and maybe vote his way.
And these are good people. They're nice people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and plus they're into this business, whatever it is. Let's say it's an oil business. They're into this business. They talk about it. They seem really smart, and they want this, and it seems like it would probably help their business. And honestly, their business creates a lot of jobs. It helps America. You know what? They probably know what they're talking about. Because you as a senator or you as a congressman, whatever, you have so much shit you have to do. You know what Congress people are doing right now? Things. That's right. Even though they're not on TV talking to you right now, they're still doing things constantly. Like almost probably 16 to 20 hours of the day, every congressperson is actively doing something. You don't think at some of those times they're at cocktail parties with these people who give them $200,000. Like, hey, you know, thanks for the campaign contributions. Like, that, it's really nice of you. It's like, oh, please, you know, I really support what you're doing. You really help the people here at Exxon, and I really support this cause. And then they start talking. They have a couple cocktails together. They have dinner, you know, and they're talking. And then, like we were just saying, you know, hey, these people are nice people. Anyway, now I got to go do some other shit because I'm a Congress guy. I got to do all this stuff. But you know, I will vote yes on that. That actually makes sense. I think these are good people. I need to help these people. These are my people. Next, I'm going to go do this. And then later, in the news, when everyone's like, oh, people are mad at me because I took money from these guys, it's like, oh, my God, these people are good people. Like, oh, that's retarded. Okay, I guess I got to go on the news and say, okay, yeah, I took their money, but it was still my decision. You know, like, I decided it. And they're probably, in a sense, being honest. Like, hey, they didn't sway my decision. I voted yes because I wanted to, and they did want to. But why did they want to? Because they got $200,000 and a nice cocktail party with these really nice people, these really nice, smart people from Exxon who know a lot about oil, and they're my people. So yeah, it was your decision, Wink. So in a sense, maybe they're not entirely lying. Maybe it's some way they kind of believe it was their decision. Plus, everyone around them does it. Oh, this guy takes money. Everyone takes money. It's not just me. It's just
people
what we all do.
internalize that system. Yeah,
right. This is the way it is,
dude. I love Bernie. Even if Bernie Sanders doesn't get elected, I think I've said this before, but even if Bernie Sanders doesn't get elected, he's already like changed.
His message won.
Yeah,
he won.
He's already changed the conversation. He's pushed it way to the left. You know, and now people are like Kamala Harris are being like, I don't take corporate PAC money anymore. Didn't Cory Booker make that pact as well?
Cory Booker is a fuck. He will always be a fuck. He's always been a fuck. There's no need to discuss trash on this. He's going to run in 2020. I hope you guys know that. He's going to... I know it.
I saw this this documentary on Facebook. Not Facebook, sorry, Netflix. Same shit.
They may as well be.
Yeah, but it was detailing Cory Booker's run, like in 2003 when he or 2002 when he first like ran for Congress. I think it was Congress, and against an incumbent. Like he was like back then.
Primary.
He was supposed to be like back then's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, pretty much. And like the way they framed him in that documentary was like he's this grassroots guy. And now you look at him today, and you're like, whoa, were they off?
Oh, dude, I've been watching Obama speeches from 2007 when he was running for president for the first time. It's not recognizable. He's not the same person. Because everything he says, like he talks about Medicare for all, like all this shit, And I was like, oh my God, I forgot how pissed off I was at Obama. That's right.
Funny story. I was talking to another coworker today. This guy actually has 2 brain cells to rub together.
He's got 2. This guy has 2 brain cells that he can rub together. You see. This is an improvement over the old model that did not have such a feature.
Pretty much. And he, we were talking about corruption in D.C. And then he brings up Obama, and I'm like, well, he had his head in the trough just like everybody else. I love saying that. That's a Bill Burr thing. And he's like, no, he didn't. He didn't take any corporate money. And I was like, are you kidding me? And then I brought up the Open Secrets
You Googled it?
page. Yeah, I brought up the Open Secrets page. He's taken over $16 million over the past like 10 years of his career.
He doesn't even have a Hyundai.
He doesn't even have a Hyundai. The sanctity of the marketplace.
Dude, $16 million in 10 years? That's average it out. It's over $1 million a year.
Yeah.
For what? For having to read something every other day? Wow.
Yeah, and that's just his campaign contributions. That's not
That's not his salary or anything.
Well, no, that's not including the salary, quote unquote, he gets from like Goldman Sachs to go and speak on Wall Street. That's yeah, no, that's what basically all these fucking ex-presidents do. They just speak for the rest of their lives, and they're good.
Well, that's the thing and that's people. Okay, people actually a lot of even liberals don't even understand this. People say, why do you attack Obama because he's no longer the president? Who cares if he decides that he wants to speak for these people? Who cares what he does? You're missing the point. It's not that Obama was president and then now that he's not, he's going and speaking, and that's horrible. What's horrible is while he was president, he made deals and he was influenced by these corporations. And part of the deal was, hey, afterwards, once you're no longer president, you can get a job with us. We'll make you a lobbyist. We'll give you this job. We'll give you that job. We'll give you this much per year. And all you got to do is do our bidding. And what did he do? Well, let's see. Considering it already happened in the past, recent past, back when actually iPhones existed his entire presidency, so we got pretty much all of it on film. If you forgot, dude, like fuck, it's insane. It's not good that an ex-president is doing speaking gigs, because it means he made these horrible deals that ultimately, if Americans knew how fucked they were by their government, there would be a revolution tomorrow. You know,
Is that a Kyle Kalinske quote?
No. You know, in most European countries,
It's Jimmy Dore quote.
Could be. In most European countries, they get 6 weeks paid time off by law. You know what it is in the U.S.? 0. Federally, you get 0 days off by law.
You're getting boned
Yeah.
with a splintered wooden dildo.
Yeah, so in most European countries, you get just over a month off every year. Paid leave. Plus, sick leave and stuff. Oh, and yeah, their health care is already paid for. Like, if people knew. They pay about half, in some cases less, as low as like a tenth. But on average, Europeans pay about half what we pay for health care. I mean, you know this. I know this. But if the American people knew this, if this was just common knowledge, like every retard and his mother was like, oh yeah, every other country gets like a month and a half paid time off. Yeah, we know that. Yeah, oh, you didn't know that? Oh yeah, these guys, they have their health care is included, and it's about half the cost of ours, and they have no copays. Yeah, everybody knows that. Yeah, and they have better outcomes. Yeah, we all know. Yeah, everybody knows. Yeah, there'd be a revolution tomorrow. It'd be insane.
Yeah, people are just incredulous when I tell them that the system that the rest of the fucking world has is better than our current one.
Like, what do you think the odds are that you, I would say to them, you were just happened to be born into the best country? What are the odds of that? Very slim. I don't know why people are. It's so hard to believe that I wasn't born into the best country. Like I would be very incredulous to say that I was born.
Yeah, where does the whole greatest country on earth thing come from? Like this blind patriotism. Like by what metric are you making that claim?
It's just a biological thing. We're very tribal, just in our nature. A lot of social animals are.
Right, but we're not as bad as other countries are not as bad as us.
Scotland's almost as bad.
We're like way worse though.
Yeah, we're the worst. At least we're known to be the worst. There's no actual metric, but just anecdotally.
It's called American exceptionalism. It's
right,
just
there's
like
a concept called
we
American.
shit gold because we are Americans.
Yeah.
Boom.
Kathy believes in American exceptionalism.
That makes a lot of sense with what you've told me about old Kathy.
Yeah, she asked me once because she was trying to find some common ground with me this one day. We find common ground quite a lot. I usually got to find it for her, but anyway. She was asking me, it's like, yeah, but you believe at least, in American exceptionalism. And I said, no, of course I don't believe that. She's like, wait, seriously? Like, how? And she looked at me like I was an idiot. Like, because I was in the military. And I said, well, I'm an idiot because I was in the military, but she couldn't believe that I believed that and that I was in the military. I said, well, American exceptionalism is the idea that we're better just because we were born in America, or that what we do is okay just because we're American. That's retarded. But she was I don't think she understood the concept. So I think that was the problem.
America, fuck yeah, man.
It is a bit strange how we expect it. Like even my mother, dude. I wish you talked to my mother more, man, dude. It is
Your
a
mother
treat.
thinks I'm a heathen.
She does, and but. Oh, dude, it's so funny.
Yeah. Well, I think that is a decent place to end. I gotta get some sleep because I have work in the morning.
Oh shit. Oh, it's already late.
It's fucking 9:30. Yeah, but that was a good little chat. I guess we'll do it again next week, next Thursday, huh?
Sweet.
Okie doke.
All right.
Laters, folks.
I'm done having the brownies for tonight. So everybody have a good time with their life, and I really need to stop talking. It's just getting
just cut it. Just
bad.
cut it. Yeah, just done.
Bad.
Just cut it.
I can cut it by hitting the space bar with my left toe.
Do it right now.
I'm gonna do that. All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
3, 2,
We're not counting down to end the show.
1.
I'll count down to end the show. All right, 3, 2, 1, bye.